Hey, what's up, guys? Kayak Mike here. This is the recap for the King Cat National Kayak Trail at Owensboro 2 weekends ago. For anyone who doesn't know, we run our tournaments on the Fishing Chaos app. If you go to the Trail Club area, start typing in online catfishing tournaments, scroll over to tournaments, down to the King Cat National Kayak Trail. You can click on the Owensboro tournament right here. You can scroll down. You can look at the angler roster. You can look at the results, etc. Big fish. We'll be talking about this during the event as well. So, oh, Jeremiah just popped on too. Cool. So we're gonna have a couple people in, but first we're gonna do what's called the mystery fish. So our tournaments are $150 to enter. If you have submitted a fish during the tournament and you end up not cashing, you're qualified to win $150, which is your entry fee back. This is a random. Let's make this number bigger. This is a random number generator right here. I'm gonna hit this. What we're gonna do is check this out. We're just gonna hold it down for a little while, and then we're gonna randomly let it go. Whatever fish comes up closest to, but not going under, they will win that $150. Right now, you see them; they are organized by alphabetically by name. That way, you know none of the cashers are in this list. So let's see here: Adam Flegel, Justin Johnson, and Joseph Garrett cannot be on this list. Adam Flegel is not here. Justin Johnston and Garrett would be right about here. So now that we know no one who can't win is in here, let's sort this by length, smallest to largest. And what I do is over here, I just have a formula built in that gives me the number. So the smallest fish is 14.5. So the smallest whole number is 14. Biggest fish is 34.75. The biggest whole number is 34. It pushes out to the 0.75. So that's how you know that's all good. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hold down the button. You guys see, I usually just, click on it 5 times and release it. Instead of doing that from now on, I'm just going to hold the button down. Once it pops up, that's going to be our winning number. Also, if there's a tie, what we're going to do is we're going to go to their tournament results. Whoever has caught the biggest fish will win the tiebreaker. We actually had a tie last time, and actually it didn't go well with how I was trying to figure out. So, all right, we're going to hold this down. I'm going to count to 5. I'm actually going to turn away. I'm going to let go of this button after I count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go of the button. It's on 22.25. Ronnie Beckley, exactly your number, 22.25. So, Ronnie Beckley, you're going to be winning $150. So, you get your registration fee back. So, Ronnie Beckley, you get to talk trash that you beat Ryan and you won more money than him at this tournament, which is that's great. I guarantee Ryan's not happy to see that. Uh, that's uncomfortable. Thank you. All right, let's go in. Where before we get to the anglers, we're gonna do a quick little thing here. I want to thank the sponsors. Shout out Daniel with Catfish Sumo, code OCT10. Something I love about his website. There's nothing you can't buy for trophy catfishing. If you need to purchase anything for trophy catfishing, it's here. All high quality stuff. That's not saying other stuff isn't high quality. That's just me putting him over. I've tested all of his stuff. I've been using his stuff well before he was a sponsor as well. So thank you, Daniel Catfish Sumo. We'll talk later in our virtual captains meeting for Nickajack. He will be selling stuff at a discounted rate if you go to our in-person meetup Friday the 24th, 6 p.m. at his warehouse. Also, it's a meet and greet with all the anglers, that kind of stuff. And there will be a professional food truck there, which is really cool. Next sponsor, Raccoon Creek Outfitters. You can see literally a fleet of Black and New Canoe Unlimiteds that have been custom made. They've all come from Raccoon Creek Outfitters. Almost half the kayaks at every single one of our events have been purchased from these guys. These guys are awesome. They do everything for you. They wire your kayak. They pre-make your kayak. Like anything you need, they can do for you. They sell the new canoes, Bonafides. They sell natives. I actually believe my next kayak will be the Native Titan X next year or Bonafide, depending on what Bonafide comes out with. So, yep, great company. Thank you, Dustin Hoy, for everything you do. Let me pull this up. Flegel Electric. This is actually our champion of this past event, Adam Flegel. He has sponsored our trophies, which I actually have sitting right there just out of reach. I'll show one here before we get off. He's sponsoring all the trophies for our events this year, and they are awesome. They're some of the coolest trophies I've coached for over 10 years. I was an athlete in like 7 different sports for 20 years. It's some of the coolest trophies I've ever seen, the plaques. I absolutely love them. Thank you, Adam, for everything you've done with us, and thank you for coming to the tournaments. I believe he's coming with 4 people to the next one. And then last but not least, thank you to King Cat bringing me on, letting me host a trail. Our tournaments eventually will be getting onto their website. We will be hopefully by the end of this season they get on this website. But long story short, you'll go into tournaments. There'll be a kayak division, and then those links will take you to the app. We'll also have links to the YouTube page with all the instructional videos and stuff. So this will eventually be a one-stop shop for everything you need for our trail as well. But for now, I just want to say thank you to King Cat, everyone who's there. I really felt part of their family this past tournament because we held this tournament alongside their boat event down there in Owensboro, Kentucky. Let's see here who's that. Brought my limited from this year. This year, excellent crew. Yeah, thank you, man. I can't wait to see you at the next tournament. And then since we were, I try not to get on a soapbox too much on this topic in public forum, just because it kind of gets beat to death on social media. I try and work behind the scenes with the ODNR as much as I can in ways other people may or may not know. But there is a post going around that's kind of making its way, and we were in Owensboro, Kentucky this past week, which is on the Ohio River. I live on the Ohio River in Cincinnati. Arguably, the Markland stretch is the worst blue cat fishery in the country by a very wide margin, and it's because of stuff like this. So this is for anyone who's uneducated. This is what you call a trophy pay lake. And trophy pay lakes, what they do is commercial fishermen, they go to our rivers and they catch these fish in abundance. They're legally only supposed to be keeping one over, which is 34 inches or bigger, or 35, depending on what state you're in, per trip. And I believe I don't know what their personal possession limit is, but I believe possession limits for an individual is 2. My argument here is pay lakes can't keep these fish alive. So somehow these commercial fishermen are keeping all of these overs alive. If they're doing it legally, they're keeping all these overs alive long enough to be able to stockpile all of these for one delivery, which it's just not possible. You can't keep these fish alive in a tube that long. So I kind of want to make some awareness on this topic. Trophy pay lakes are directly responsible for, unfortunately, how poor the fishing has got in the Ohio River over the past couple decades. All these fish that you see, they're dead in a month. They're all going to be dead in a month. All these fish, especially the big ones, they're 10 to 20 plus years old. They were just taken out of their habitat. They're going to be put into a little pond, and it's strictly for white trash gambling. Don't let anyone fool you. I don't even care about the argument about it doesn't take a real angler. Forget that. It's straight up animal abuse. These fish are going to go. They're going to be gambled on. They're going to be caught over and over and over again. And then when they're dead, they just get discarded and replaced with other fish that are 10 to 20 plus years old. That's all it's about. If you put on paper what a dogfighting ring is and what a trophy pay lake is, and you just eliminated the word dogfighting and catfish trophy pay lake, on paper, what trophy pay lakes do is much more inhumane than dogfighting ring. So I want to show you guys some pictures of trophy. This is what a healthy flathead catfish should look like. Their gills, even when they're open, rarely ever exceeds their belly. Rarely ever. We're going to go through some pictures. So this fish is arguably about as long as this fish. This fish was in the 40-pound range. This catfish right here, 23.06 pounds. So, this fish, it's strung out. You see these fish, they're unhealthy. This is what I mean about the pots. They always have a billboard. They always have a pot running. It's only about gambling. That's all they care about is the gambling aspect. They kill the fish, discard them. This is an extremely unhealthy flathead. Look at this blue. This looks like a spawned out blue cat that should only happen once a year. This was a healthy blue taken from its natural habitat and tossed into a trophy pay lake. Look at it. This is pathetic. Look at this flathead. This flathead's dead in 2 weeks. This flathead, I guarantee you, was probably a 40, 50-pound flathead at some point in time. Now it's probably in the teens. It's before I say anything I'm going to regret, we're going to hop off that. But being that we were on the Ohio River, I did want to bring some awareness to it. But also, please keep in mind, I'm a content creator. I do my best. I work with people behind the scenes as best as I can. It's also not my responsibility to make posts like this every single day, fight the good fight. You can fight your fight in any way. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm not telling you how to post. Like today alone, I've seen some people saying like, you guys with YouTube channels, why aren't you posting about this, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, this is probably never going away. The only thing we could do is work professionally with people to try and have better regulations. All right, now that I'm off that soapbox, let's get to why we're here and bring the anglers in. All right, let's see here. At the stage. We're going to get this. Let's go. Okay, we have the champion, Adam Flegel, and we have Floyd. Oh, I should probably unmute you guys. Sorry. Oh, no, Floyd, you muted yourself. Okay. And we have Floyd Vincent. Floyd Vincent's a rookie. He's been catching fish at every tournament so far, which is awesome. That's the most important thing in this scene when we have new anglers is to see success. So they keep on coming back and they know they're not just going to show up and constantly get beat by the same people over and over again. Like, great example, if you check this out, I know a lot of people get a little worried about Ryan Bortz always winning. Guys, look, Ryan, but 8th place. Poor Ryan. And he got his licking at the boat ramp too. So I'll let the anglers introduce themselves. First, I'll go Floyd. Say a little bit about yourself. Floor is yours before we go into the event.
Floyd Vincent, Ooltewah, Tennessee. Catfishing for a while. Just started tournament fishing this year.
Nice. And then go ahead. Charlie Trash Talking Dad, Ohio River. That's great. Go ahead. Adam Flegel, take it away.
I'm Adam Flegel. I am the owner of Flegel Electric. We sponsor 6, 7, 8 different trails throughout the United States. I am religiously fishing this series this year with the goal of knocking JJ and Ryan off of their pedestal. This is...
I'm Charlie. I'm his daughter.
This is my 13-year-old daughter, Charlie. She's going to be fishing the Nickajack event. It'll be her... She's fished probably hundreds of tournaments with me in the big boat, but she's no stranger to catching big catfish, but this will be her first solo tournament. So.
I'm excited. That's awesome. And you said you're bringing 2 other anglers too?
Yeah. So Clinton will be here and James will be here as well.
All right. Clinton, I'm challenging you to a swimming race. I'm a beach bud. Yeah. Well, actually, the problem is we'll swim for 10 seconds and I'll pull a hamstring, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
You opened the can though.
Huh?
You just opened the can.
I did. So I am looking forward to that. That'll be fun. These trips, guys, they're a lot of fun with all these anglers too. So Floyd, I'll bring you up first. Let me bring you up. I'm going to remove you for 1 second, Adam. I'm going to bring Floyd up and we're going to go over his entire tournament. All right, Floyd. I'm going to bring up the screen here. Start talking about your pre-fishing. When did you come up? What'd you use for bait? Where'd you get as much as you want to give us your tournament experience front to back. And as you give us your experience, I will go through some of your pictures.
Well, basically, I came up, I think it was, the tournament was on a Sunday this time, right?
Yes, this was on a Sunday.
So I came up Saturday evening. I had no pre-fishing done. I came in blind. Got with Ryan. Ryan put me on the spot. He said, I marked fish here. He said, go here and then go over here. He said, you should catch fish. Well, I stayed on that spot for a while, didn't catch anything, moved to another spot, and I lost more gear there than I lost all year so far. So then I went back to that spot, and then that's when I caught those 2 flatheads that you were showing right now, which was actually pretty nice flatheads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I was like 1 fish away from being in the money, and I knew I was real close, and I was getting real excited, but we just didn't come to fruition, unfortunately.
So from what people can see, not a lot of people like fishing the Ohio River on these online events, but I will always keep the Ohio River on the trail in some fashion because this tournament, there's no getting lucky. You don't just drag. You don't just you got to fish the river. And you got to fish the river with what it gives you. It takes a lot of skill to find these fish. My soapbox earlier, the volume's just not there as it is everywhere else in the country. So if you see here, literally from 10th place up, we're all realistically one fish away from winning. That's 10 different people had a legitimate shot. So as Floyd was saying, he was just that one fish away. It was a 3-fish limit. Floyd was at 53.25 inches. So if Floyd caught a 40-inch fish, which is possible, Floyd wins this tournament. So that's how close it was. And you see Floyd down here in 9th, but that doesn't tell the whole story. It was a dang close fishing event. Do you mind if I ask you what you were using for bait, since I saw you catching flatheads? I know a lot of people like to know that. Or do you want? You can keep it secret though. You don't have to tell.
Absolutely. Skipjack cut bait.
Skipjack cut bait. Did you see any difference between heads and body sections, or did it
All
not
body.
matter? All body sections for you?
All body.
For me, my personal fishing, I kind of had the same experience. It was more along the lines of more fish I caught were on body, but I got more hits on head pieces. But it just seemed like they were just nibbling at the back of it. So, all right, Floyd. Well, Floyd, dude, thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna pop you off here. Do you have anything else? Do you want to thank anybody? Do you have anything else to say? Do you want me to go over anything else that, like for you? Hold on. You have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, it's actually called. I actually just changed the name of it today. It's called Outlaw Catfishing, and I have a TikTok channel as well, and it's called Outlaw Catfishing.
All right, let me pull that up for you. Oh, well, I definitely just subbed to somebody else. All right, can you do me a favor? When I kick you off here, send me that link, and before I get off this live, I'm going to make sure I post it because it's not letting me pull it up on the YouTube right now. It's not letting me find it. So if you, shoot me that link to my Facebook Messenger, and I will pull it up, and I will show it to everyone before we're done.
Okay. And I also like to thank my sponsors, which I'm keeping him anonymous just for particular reasons, but I want to thank my sponsor for helping me out with the kayak trail, and that's all I have.
That's awesome. All right, well, thank you, Floyd. I'm going to now bring on Adam and Charlie. See you later, bud.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there we go. Adam and Charlie. Now, give me 1 second, if you don't mind. I'm going to message Jeremiah. Jeremiah was on a second ago, but he popped off. I wonder where he is. All right, while I'm doing this, go ahead. Beginning to end, walk me through everything. Tell people about your trip, because people might not know you traveling up from hold on. Here you go. Go ahead. Give it to him.
Look, is that a mustache?
Oh, it is a mustache.
Did you lose a bet, Ryan?
No. I lost the tournament.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Hey, you see this pretty blonde girl right here?
Yeah, she was going to get all my good spots until her dad whooped me in a tournament.
She's going to be the reason you lose the next tournament.
I hope she is.
Are you doing any good at it?
I caught some fish this morning. Bait's really tough.
I
saw struggling.
Yep, I saw your post earlier of your bait. I was like, it looked like you stopped at the Ohio River. It didn't look like you were on the Tennessee.
Yeah, I got about 40 in an hour last night, but then the storms ran me off. It took me 4 hours to find them, though. Once I found them, I was on them. But they're not there today.
Gotcha.
I'm literally same spot, same time, everything as yesterday, and they're not here.
Not there.
Are you on Nickajack?
What was that?
Are you on Nickajack?
Are you on Nickajack?
No, I am at Watch Bar.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Fishing the spot.
So, Ryan, before I get into Adam, do you want to talk about your Ohio River experience at all real quick?
No, I do not.
Oh, all right. Well, then, peace.
I want to talk about his experience.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, you want to talk about his experience?
So, I kept checking the leaderboard for the last 2 hours. Like, okay, I'm still got big fish. I'm still in the lead. And then I get this message from Mike. There's an angler having trouble with the app. He's got 3 fish. It's going to be close. So,
I'm
now
gonna pop you off here, Ryan. But do you need Ryan for this?
I was just going to say one thing about Ryan. So
Okay.
other than me staying in the lead, the whole tournament, I'm looking at Floyd. Floyd's beating Ryan. And I was like, oh, God, I hope Floyd can pull this out. And Ryan winds up catching a second fish in the last hour to put him back ahead of Floyd. And I was like, oh, man, I just wanted Floyd to beat Ryan.
Which would have been bittersweet because Ryan's helping Floyd out. That would have been awesome. So, all right, Ryan, I'll see you in about a week, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna go try to catch some bait. I'm back up to my current seam here, so.
All right,
Good luck,
see you.
buddy.
All right, see y'all.
All right, Adam. Before we get to you, real quick, this is Outlaw Catfishing. This is Floyd's channel, so if you guys can, go give him a sub. Try and pump these guys up as much as we can. Do you have any kind of socials or anything you want me to pump real quick?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's not all that active. Me and Charlie were making some pretty sweet videos.
I remember.
Fleagle Family Adventures is the name of it. So there was about a month-long stint where Charlie got herself in trouble. She wasn't allowed any electronics, with the exception of she could watch YouTube videos on how to use our editing software. So she became pretty good at it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right, now walk us through through your whole thing. The beginning, your drive up from Kansas, what you did to get bait, if you want to talk about that. Yeah, let it go.
Okay, so at Chickamauga, at the weigh-in, at the end of the tournament, we're all standing around, and like I told you, 95% chance I'm not coming to Owensboro. So between Chickamauga and Owensboro, all I'm thinking about is, man, if I don't go, this is like, I have to show up. I have to win these if I'm going to accomplish that national championship. And that's my goal. If I don't come, I'm leaving the door wide open for JJ and Ryan to get another W. So I was pondering back and forth. Like, I really didn't have the time to get away from work to come down there, and I was just back and forth. But I told myself this was one of my goals this year. If I don't come, I'm leaving that door wide open. This could be my chance. So my original plan, I'd rented an Airbnb on the Green River, about 50 minutes away from Owensboro. I had a little bit of information from an elderly gentleman that does a lot of flathead fishing down there. I already just had this feeling in my gut, like that wasn't the right choice. It wasn't the right thing to do. I get to my Airbnb and it was terrible. And I just had this gut feeling like I was either supposed to go home or go back to Owensboro. Called Mike, and Mike's like, yeah, come on up. So I headed to Owensboro, and I was just kind of bummed out. The next day, me and Ryan go down. We call it pre-fishing if you want. We put our kayaks on the water. We went up and scanned. I probably had lines in the water for 15 minutes. Ryan decided to jump in a boat with somebody else to go skipjack fishing, and I had a lot of things I needed to get done. I needed to go to Walmart. I needed to go to Academy. So I pulled my kayak out of the water, went and took care of what I needed to do, and just decided the next day, I'm just going to fish this thing blind. Like, I don't like the Ohio River. I don't like the current. It's not for me. But I'm here. So I helped out at the King Cat weigh-in.
Which, by the way, thank you from me and everyone else who was there.
He is such a great guy, and I love everything he's doing. The city of Owensboro, I think, did a great job overall. I didn't have any complaints. Everywhere we ate was great. The hospitality that we received everywhere, I thought, was just great. The accommodations were good. And to be honest with you, I think the fishing was okay. I can't say that I caught more fish than everybody else, but I submitted more fish at Chickamauga. I submitted more fish on the Ohio River. I feel like I'm doing what I need to do. Wilson and Pickwick, that was a disaster for me. I killed it during pre-fishing and they weren't there. So that was my mulligan, and I hope I don't have to use another one. But so come tournament day, I had an idea what I wanted to do. I had not scanned it. I had not looked at it, but I kind of knew, looking at Navionics, what the bottom was going to look like. So I decided to go upriver about a mile, just past that bridge where the tugboats and that the granary is there on the, I guess that'd be the south. And I just scanned around there. Hell, I didn't get lines in the water till probably 7:15. I thought I had a place picked, and then I was scanning 100 feet left and right, and I seen something else I wanted to go look at. So I just kind of ran in circles there until I found this spot I marked a couple good fish on. And suspending is not my repertoire. It's like not my cup of tea. It's not what I like to do. But I knew that was going to catch fish, so I suspended a few rods. I like to pull boards. I had never used planer boards in a river setting while stationary fishing, but I decided this was going to be the time I tried it. So I was able to fish with 11 rods. I ran 6 planer boards. I ran several of them suspended, a couple of them casted out with some big weights, and I bumped 4 or 5 hours straight with my 11th rod and never got a bite bumping. I was kind of disappointed on that. So first fish of the morning was big fish of the tournament. It came at about the first 10 minutes in, and it was on a suspended rod. I was messing around on the bottom of the kayak, and all I seen was like out of my peripheral vision, like the horizon line changed. So I was like, what's going on here? Well, the right side of the kayak was pulling down. So
Oh, that's cool.
I had a kayak catfish bite there. So reeled down, landed that fish, and I was like, all right, here we go. And that fish got disqualified. I submitted it, and then I went to check it in a minute. I was like, oh, it's gone. What's going on? So I messaged Mike, and he told me that I had a mistake. And I was like, oh, good thing I took several pictures. So I submitted a second picture. It got kicked out again. Another mistake. So I went back through my pictures, and I did have a picture. It wasn't the best picture, but it did have all the criteria in it. Submitted it. Mike looked at it. It was good. He accepted it. And then the day went on. I just kept catching fish. That spot got a little cold. Tried a few things right up in front of the river walk area. There was a lot of structure, marked a lot of fish. We didn't catch any. So I ran across to the other side. There is that mile-long small river section on that inside bend. Went up in there, found a brush pile, cast it out, several baits, wound up catching a flathead. And I think that was probably my third fish, maybe second, I can't remember. But I had my limit. I think I was one of the first ones with 3 fish. But I knew, like you had said, they're the top 10, 1 fish. And it didn't even have to be a great fish.
Mhm.
Somebody else is a 34, 35, they're right there. So I knew I had to come up with another decent fish or a couple upgrades. So I just decided to go back where I started the morning at. I anchored up again. I moved about 100 yards because all the bites I had came off that side of the kayak. So I moved over probably 150 feet, maybe 200 feet. And I just did the same thing again. And I smashed it in the afternoon. I just started catching fish about every 15, 20 minutes. None of them were spectacular, but every time I caught one, it was an upgrade on my 2 small ones all the way up to the end of the day. So I had about every bait I could possibly take with me, but skipjack heads seemed to be catching the most fish for me. I did catch a few on skipjack sides, and I think I caught a few on crappie.
And crappie, skipjack, etc. I'm trying to think what I caught mine on. I think all mine were on skipjack, which is rare for me because I normally start giving up on skipjack relatively easily. I know it's a great bait, but just for me personally, it hasn't been my best bait. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm not knocking skipjack. It's a great bait, but I think people overvalue it because people in the South, and I'm not saying this in a demeaning way at all, that's the bait everybody uses because that's what's easy to catch. They can consistently go out and get it. I don't think people give gizzard shad, because there's a lot of big gizzard shad down in the South. I don't think they give it a fair chance that, that's not that good a bait. Well, it's not that good a bait because they don't use it a lot, because those guys down there, most of them don't throw a net, and they don't commit to putting in the time it takes to catch big gizzard shad in a net. It's tough sometimes, where skipjack's pretty reliable. And if you can't catch, you can get it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why skipjack has such a good reputation as being the best bait, the go-to bait. And I do think it's a great bait, but springtime when that water is still warming, their primary food source is gizzard shad. If you cut a 10-pound blue cat open, whether it in the South or the Midwest, that time of year, it's spring months, it's warming. If you cut them open and see what they're eating, they're full of gizzard shad. Very rarely do you find a small skipjack in one of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Up here too. That and we don't really have the same. You can go and catch skipjack. Like I know a lot of guys. I believe all the skipjack I was using was from the Ohio River right there. But it's not a super reliable bait where I live anyway. Where this tournament was might be a little different of a story. But up here, you can go to Meldal and fish for 4 hours and maybe catch 3 skipjack, and then one day you can go down and fish for 3 hours and catch 200. Whereas, every single time I've gone down south, no matter what time of year I launch at a dam, I catch skipjack. So that is different. Also, I think different fish and different fisheries are looking for different things based on abundance. Like for me, whiteper and white bass is my favorite bait on the Ohio River, but we also have, in my opinion, a lot more of it to go around. So I feel like that's more of a natural food source than other fish. So I just feel like they're targeting it more. And then as far as for my fishing, this was my second big one on the day. And yeah, enough about me. It's not about me. It's about the anglers. But I did want to show off one fish.
Yeah,
But
Mike made me feel bad. He told me what his best 3 would have went.
you I'm ironic you said that you didn't catch anything bumping. This is the first time ever that my casted rods and suspended rods outperformed my walking bait. Ever since I started bumping and walking baits, if I anchor fish, I always walk one. Always, always, always. No matter what the current is, I always walk one, even if I have to use a 1-ounce bait. And I, to this day, have never been outperformed by my casted rods. And this tournament was the first time ever my walking baits didn't. I don't even. It might have got one hit, maybe total, the whole day, which is for me unheard of. So yeah, that
And I used the word bumping. I wasn't bumping. I was walking baits.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when I scanned coming up to this spot, I seen this huge log pile, 50 feet deep in the river, about 300 or 400 feet behind where I was set up. So, in my opinion, my mind, I'm casting out above this brush pile, and I'm suspended over a nice big rock pile. That's where I marked the big fish. But I thought there's got to be some fish in that wood. So I'm walking this bait back, and you can feel the weight on the bottom. It's sand or it's mud, and then when it hits that wood, you can feel it. You can kind of feel. You can try to jump, walk it over. And I never got hung up. I did get, where you felt like you were going to be hung, and it just never hung. It came out every time. But I could get it to go back to that, and I could get it up in it. I could not get it over it. So what I would do is I would reel it in a little bit to where I felt the soft bottom again, and I'd walk it back till I could feel that I was in that wood. And I would just set the rod down and reel it in maybe 3 feet, thinking my bait is up current 3 feet from this big wood pile. Something's going to come out and hit this. And I just kept doing that most of the day. And I never did get a hit on it. I never, to my knowledge, I didn't have a bite on that walking rod at all, which I was surprised.
Yeah, that really surprised me too, because that's normally the go-to. Where is this thing?
My daughter Charlie's got to go. She's got a graduation to attend. I just wanted to bring her on and tell everybody hi and let them know that she's going to be there to try to dethrone Mr. Justin Johnson and Ryan.
That'll be awesome. Charlie, I wish you luck and enjoy that graduation.
Thank you. Bye.
Joe Garrett, the guy who came in third, he just said 2 of his were on bluegill head and 1 on skip head and 1 on skip chunk. So, yeah, it seems like the majority of the fish were caught on head pieces. Mine was slightly different. The majority of my hits were head pieces, but I think all my catches were on chunks tournament day. When I pre-fished Wednesday night for 2 hours, I think everything was on just a mix. I think it was on both. Wednesday night though, I did catch them walking. It was half and half. It was half walking, half casted too. So
So Rising Sun last year was my first experience on the Ohio River. and I caught okay fish both days that I pre-fished. Tournament day, not so great, but the bait was tough on the Ohio River then, and it was tough in Owensboro as well. I know Ryan had a good day bait fishing with Mike Greenwell.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Ryan and several of the other anglers, we all went to the same dam downriver, about a 40-minute drive to skipjack fish. And man, it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. We were there 3 or 4 hours, and we all left with a lot less than we were hoping.
Yeah, yeah. That's when Ryan busted that big wiper, right?
Yes. One
Okay.
second, Mike. I don't know, but if I do, you can take it. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. And yeah, I think
Yeah, Ryan caught that big wiper that he thought was a state record white bass. I thought it was a white bass too.
Yeah, no, that guy was definitely a wiper. I would have loved for it to be a white bass, but it was a wiper.
I snagged a huge, that was probably 25-pound silver carp or Asian carp, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
with a spoon with my ultralight rod bait fishing. So that was a good time.
Yeah, that must have been fun. That must have been fun. They're not in there as thick
I
yet.
don't really have as much fun bait fishing as I do catfishing. Tennessee, I had a blast bait fishing with Ryan and everybody up there. So
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's like a party when we're out in the water. Especially when we're bait fishing. So some of those conversations can't make it to the air.
I enjoy Mike's commentary while he's videoing and he hooks into a 7-pounder, and it sounds like he's caught his new personal best.
Yeah, 7's a little too high. It's like 4 or 5 pounder. At Watts Bar, it was like a 4 or 5 pounder, if that.
Enthusiasm, I like it.
Yeah, every fish. I'm kind of like Chris Minahan. Every fish is the best hit I've ever got in my life. However, once the adrenaline's gone after the first 20 seconds, I'm like, it's probably not that big. Chris Minahan, though, from hit to finish, it's a 50-pounder until it's in the boat.
Right. If he lost it, it was 60 or 70.
Yeah. Or straight into hook out or something. Yeah. So I'm going to go, they're all 50s according to Austin Harding. We're going to take a quick look at the results again real quick. These are the results. We had 12 anglers. We had 11 submit fish. Ironically, the one angler who didn't submit fish, he is a local, but he's a good fisherman. He just had a tough day out in the water. It's my buddy Derek Agnew. Shout out, Derek. Love you, man. Our dinner afterwards, man, that was a lot of fun. That's the kind of stuff I live for at these events, is the camaraderie and, I can't say that word, and hanging out and stuff afterwards. We're going to do a quick peek at the series standings. So right now, Justin Johnson's in, you have to discard the Nickajack until it's your best 5 events, but the system will automatically give you your 50 points if you sign up for an event down the road if you don't have your 5 events yet. So JJ technically has 300 points. Ryan Bortz has 293. Aaron Grubb has 287. And Adam Flegel has 249. That rounds out. Oh, and Floyd he's in 5th. He has 231. But again, it's your best 5 events. So Adam has plenty of time to knock off that 50 score once he fishes a few more of these events. So yeah, that wraps it up for Owensboro. Do you want to shout out your sponsor and stuff before I hop you off here? And then once I get you off, I'm just going to talk about the next event for a little bit, and then I'll hop off here.
Yeah, so I like to shout out one of the trail sponsors, Daniel with Catfish Sumo. I just put an order in for him. I've heard a lot of good thing about the hangry hooks, so I'm needing some hooks, and I'm always up for trying something new. And I've had nothing but good things told to me about the hangry hooks. So I just placed an order. I did purchase one of the Golly Whopper rods. I'm going to let my daughter beat JJ with that rod. So that's the plan there. Wanted to support the channel, wanted to support the sponsors. So I ordered several things from them, but man, I got emails right away, shipping confirmation, order confirmation, it's on its way. So what a great process. They really have a nice process of getting things out to the customers in a timely manner. I'd also like to thank my sponsors. My main sponsor is Slime Cat. They make an excellent kayak rod. They make a lot of excellent rods, but they've been very, very good to me. Smackdown Catfishing, Macy's Fish and Find in Chula, Missouri. She's taken care of me for a lot of years, and her customer service. It's a mom and pop shop, and it doesn't get any better than those guys. And I've got a lot of other sponsors, but these are the guys that keep me going.
Awesome. Hey man, I can't thank you enough for sponsoring the trail this year. Oh, I said I was gonna grab one of these. Keep talking for 1 second.
Yeah. The funny thing, one of the when I first started sponsoring catfish trails, one of the first things I started doing, other than raw money, there you go.
I'm trying to get it so it's not reflecting in the screen. There we go.
You got it right there. So yeah, they're badass. There's nothing less you can say about them. They're just so sweet. And I spent nearly an entire day at that trophy shop, which is one of the largest trophy shops in the country. I went there in person because I sponsor multiple catfish trails. I wanted to look at some different things. I wanted to try some different stuff. And I just fell in love with these acrylic, these multi-layer trophies. And the funny thing is, the amount of trophies that I have sponsored to series after series after series. Now, my kids, they have a whole pile of them. But out of all the trophies I've won, Owensboro was the very first trophy that I have sponsored, that I have purchased, that I've got to bring home with me.
Oh, really? That's awesome, man.
The very next week, me and Clinton got second in the big boat tournament at one of our local Kansas lakes. It's the largest series around here, and we're chasing points in that one too. So it was a great day. But 2 weeks in a row, we're cashing and tearing it up. So I'm hoping when we come down to Tennessee, we can make something happen in JJ's backyard.
That's awesome. And I hear you're staying with Andrew Green, which that warms my heart to know that he's coming to this.
He's bringing his wife and his son, and I'm bringing my wife and both of my kids. We're bringing the big boat as well. And then James is going to be driving down. He can't leave quite as soon as we are, so he's going to be driving down a couple days after we get there. And we're all going to stay in a house that I rented and bring in my dog. So it should be a good time. I love Tennessee.
That's awesome. Me too. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be back. Absolutely cannot wait to be back. So
I'd like to thank you, Mike, for everything you've done putting this together, because I'm telling you, I've been involved in a lot of catfish tournament series, and this thing runs smooth. It just clicks, it goes, and it's like you don't have a stutter button. A lot of guys, you ask them with a question and they're like, oh, the gray area comes out. You've got an answer every time. It's like, nope, cut and dry. This is our rule. We're not doing that. And I love that. And I think a lot of other anglers appreciate that. So thank you.
I appreciate you saying that. God, it makes me feel uncomfortable, but I really do. I appreciate you saying that.
It's true. I run a company with a lot of employees, and you got to give credit where credit's due, and you got to call a spade when it's going the other way too. But I think Bob Denon hit the nail on the head. He picked the right guy, and I think moving forward past this year, this kayak catfishing is going to explode, and I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I win this one this year before it gets really hard.
I feel you. I feel you, man. And I know I'm not supposed to say this out loud, but I hope he beat Ryan. Like, don't get me wrong, he's my best friend, but I hope he beat him. There is a little part of me that does like watching him get beat. I don't ever want to see him do bad. Now, let me make it clear.
It's all in good fun. And
yes, exactly.
I want to win because I had the 5 best finishes. That's what I don't want to win because Ryan had a shitty day and got 8th place because he choked in Owensboro. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to be one of his mulligans that goes away. I want to beat Justin and Ryan. And I keep mentioning those guys. They're not the only 2. Mathematically, there's a lot of the guys that can win.
It's still wide open. Andrew Green could come in here and win it in the next 5 events.
Absolutely. And, but I'm just right now, those are the guys I have to beat. And I told myself all week, if I don't go to Owensboro, I am going to regret it. I cannot leave it on the table. Decided to go, and here we are. 3 guys, 3 tournaments, 3 wins.
Yeah, yeah. And that goes to
Yeah.
show the parity that we have. Granted, you know, JJ is being the most consistent currently, but same thing last year. I know, and this is going to be farther from the truth. Every now and then, it's not often yet, but every now and then, someone will say like, "Why should I go fish when you know Ryan's down there pre-fishing a week ahead of time?" Blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. My argument's always, we had 6 events last year. We had 6 different winners, and literally one 35-inch blue cat at Rising Sun caught by 7 or 8 different anglers would have made that angler the angler of the year. That's how close our race was. So, like, yes, Ryan won it last year, but he was one 35-inch blue cat from 7 different anglers away from not being the angler of the year. Like, that's
Yeah,
how close it was.
and to kind of hit on what you said earlier about the Ohio River, I don't like the Ohio River, but I like that it's in the mix because it's kind of a wild card. It takes people out of their comfort zone. I mean, if a river guy got to fish a river every time, well, the river guy's going to win. But the river guy has to go fish the lake, and the lake guys have to go fish the river. You know, that's just, it makes for a good series. And, you know, the top 2 finishers at Owensboro were the only 2 that didn't have any pre-fishing. I think Vincent didn't have any pre-fishing. But, you know, Justin and I kind of did the same thing. We put in, we had an idea, we went and made the best of it. And I really didn't expect my results to put me on top. I didn't expect to catch as many fish as I caught. I basically went out and said, look, this river has given me current. I don't really care for this current, but this is what I got. I don't have anything else. I've found this structure. I'm going to fish it. I've marked fish. I'm going to do what I know how to do, and I'm going to make use of. I've never stationary fished my planer boards. I've always wanted to, and I would have never chose to do it in a tournament, but I had no choice. If I want to win, I've got to put everything I know how and everything I've got crammed in this little kayak, I've got to put it to use, and I did. And, you know, people could say, oh, them planer boards, they are a pain in the ass. And they're a lot of work. And when you catch a big fish and you got that many lines out, you're untangling or cutting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will say this, you know, me and Justin joke around about it, him beating me with 2 and 4 rods. And I think that's awesome when that happens. But me winning in Owensboro would not have happened if I didn't have those planer boards, because I caught the small flathead in the shallow water off of a casted rod, and I caught the first fish of the day, which was big fish, off of a suspended rod. I probably caught 8 or 10 more fish besides those 2, and every single one of them came from a planer board that was probably 100 or 80 feet away from my kayak off to the side. And man, they didn't mess around in that current. When they hit, that planer board was darting and that rod was folded. It was awesome. And they weren't even that fish.
Yeah, that was my experience down on Chickamauga. I would be willing to bet 80% of my fish were outside rods, and I had my. And I'm normally, I'll be honest, everyone knows me as like a lazy fisherman. I normally don't send them out 200-300 feet. I actually had them when I fished Chickamauga tournament day. I went out with the mindset, okay, I'm going to actually try and compete against my peers today and like do everything the right way. Yeah, the majority of my hits were the 200-300 foot outboards, like the way out there. So I think there definitely is something to that. Now, like you said, do you have to do that? JJ gets away with only running a couple next to him, yes, but he also has kind of mastered that. There's also, you know what I mean? Someone who's put that much time into that kind of skill can probably apply it, you know, everywhere else. However, someone like you or me, or who's going somewhere out of our comfort zone, I want that spread. I need that spread. I really do.
Yeah, and I'll give Justin all the credit in the world, man. That guy is a legend. I watch all of his videos. I have for years and years and years, and I respect the crap out of him. It's amazing what he achieves. And like I tell my kids, I said, now you got to understand, we're watching a YouTube channel. He's not posting the videos when he doesn't catch fish, with the exception of, you know, like the 4-hour live streams. I said, there's a lot of days he spends $50 in fuel and drives for 2 hours, and he goes out there and he puts his time in, he does his homework, and he doesn't have a great day of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't see those days, but even though he may not have caught fish, he learned and he put that in his pocket. And I feel like JJ is the baller. I mean, anytime you can beat Justin Johnson in a setting that's in his comfort zone, to me, it's not only a win, but that's a good accomplishment. I mean, it makes any angler feel good. And but like I said, I'll give Justin all the credit he deserves, which is tons. I think he's a great guy, and I think he's an amazing fisherman across the board. I think he's probably one of the best cat fishermen in the world that I know. Not just cat fishing.
Yeah, I would second that too, because for me,
I don't know another cat fisherman that puts the time in that he does, that has caught as many big fish as he does, that has fished a variety of settings and done well. No, I mean, in the big boat world, bank fishing, I don't know another one. I'm not saying they're not out there. I don't know of them.
and so that's where my criteria falls in. Whenever someone talks about the best anglers and stuff, they do. I think they do a little award ceremony. Shout out to Palmetto Cast for putting it on. But every time I see like best kayak angler or anything like that, in just my opinion, and of course they're two of my friends, I don't think anyone right now sniff Ryan Bortz or Justin Johnson, simply because they're competing against their peers across the country the last 2 years, and they've been consistent every single place that they have gone, and they're doing it. They're not just catching 45, 50-inch fish over and over and over and over again in their backyard. They're doing it across the country, and they're doing it in a set time frame in which they have to do it every single time. I don't think either of them have been skunked in a single tournament yet. And don't quote me, but Ryan, I don't think JJ has ever not filled his limit. I think JJ has filled his limit in every single tournament. And I think Ryan has only not filled his limit in 1 or 2 tournaments in the last 2 years. This is one of them. Yeah, this is one of them. And sometimes the argument is, they get to pre-fish forever. JJ came up night before, didn't pre-fish at all, worked the water. Like, at some point in time, you got to give the anglers credit for just being good. And right now, we need the people to come prove it. This is another great. I can't believe I didn't say it. Andrew Green, same exact thing. Andrew Green right now, he's in. The only reason he's not in the top 2 conversation is just because he didn't win the point race last year. You know what I mean? He was in the top 5. He came from Texas. He crushed it pre-fishing everywhere he went. And these events, completely different fishing than Texas. Texas, you can go down there, throw boards out, drag, and accidentally snag fish. So he has the luxury of being able to do that if he wants to. From my understanding, he's not a big dragger down in Texas, which makes it even more impressive because they don't have a lot of flow where he's fishing. He's like suspending and anchoring on places, which to me, if you're good at anchor fishing in no flow, I have so much respect for you because I'm on the move. I am on the move all the time when there's no flow. And Andrew Green, he's come to all these places and he's also been consistent. There's other anglers too. Those are just like the top 3. You've proved it too.
Daniel is a great fisherman, and all of the guys consistently fishing this tournament. Aaron Grubb, excellent fisherman.
Yeah, Aaron, John Ratliff, Jeremy. Yeah, geez, dude.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're right there. Any one of these guys could win a tournament at any time.
Oh,
hey,
this name's cool to see in our scene, Skip Martin. Yeah. Anytime you see him at a tournament, there's a chance he might be walking away with the hardware. Chris Minahan now, Austin, the Ronnies, like Shag, Clinton, your buddy Clinton, Mackenzie, like all these guys, they go across the country and they have success everywhere.
Yep. I'd like to get Mackenzie back to another tournament. He really enjoyed Pickwick and Wilson, and he's got a guiding service where he takes wounded warriors and disabled vets out on a pontoon boat for trophy catfish, and he's just killing it.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Sandusky does an event like that, I think, a few times a year where they take the wounded warriors out. But
I'm excited for Sandusky. I've never been there. My best lake. We won a great big 2-day tournament, me and my family, last year on the premier channel cat fishery in Nebraska. And man, I learned so much pre-fishing there the last couple of years, and I've done very, very well there for the last 3 years in these big tournaments. I feel very confident I can take what I've learned and known from that specific channel cat fishery, because I feel like everything I've read about and learned about Sandusky Bay directly correlates to Calamus Reservoir, which is, I think it's my best leg. So I feel really good about going up there and maybe putting another win.
That would be awesome. Just be prepared to catch, conservatively speaking, 50 fish in your 8-hour.
Don't jinx me. I just need 3.
Yeah, it's 5 or 6. I forget what Sandusky. Sandusky's either 5 or 6.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt we'll catch a lot of fish. I think I can take what I've learned and catch the big fish. So
last year, I think we had a slow day last year, and of the 33 anglers, I think they caught over 1,000 fish, and I think they submitted 600 fish. Don't quote me. I don't even bother judging that until noon. I'm just like, I'm waiting until noon. That way, I'm only judging the fish that are on the leaderboard. Yeah, I'm not judging that. No way. So, but man, I will literally talk for another 2 hours. So I gotta cut this short. If you're up in an hour, Aaron Grubb's actually coming on. I'll do a live with me on the OCT or Facebook page. We're gonna be going over Scioto. I'm gonna kick Adam out. We did our thank you to our sponsors. I'm gonna do a quick review of our next event, and then if you guys go to the OCT Facebook page, we will be going over the Scioto River event this upcoming weekend. And the reason we're doing it on the page and not the group is because Facebook or StreamYard, one of the two, decided that they're just not going to let you stream the groups anymore, which is really frustrating because that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
So
but we need to get this trail all over. We need to get people on board, because there's a lot of people that don't know this is there, and so many people are ignorant to the tournaments by length. And I'm telling you, man, it is, the weigh in the big fish at the end is great, the visual spectacle, but man, we catch these fish and they go right back in their native habitat, right where you caught them. And I think it's great. It's awesome. And Mike does such a great job. He doesn't miss anything.
Oh, don't say that. I have and I will, but like you said, we're good at enforcing whatever the rules are. See, that's the thing. And something I love about our anglers, they understand I'm human too. Every now and then they'll find a picture. Hey man, there's no identifier in this, and you approved it. I overlooked it. It happens. I go in, I reject the picture immediately. There's no like, like you said, there's no ticky tacky nothing. It's black and white. This is the ruling. And then if I got to say something to someone like, sorry, if you don't like. I don't entertain arguments back and forth about judgments. This is the judgment. You can plead your case. If I agree with you, we'll make an adjustment. If I don't agree with you, I'll say sorry. We got to move on. I no longer entertain banter. We have one banned angler in this whole scene, and it was honestly because he just wouldn't stop bantering every single decision that's ever been made ever. So. I think that's a pretty good record too, as far as online fishing is concerned. Only having one banned angler in the 4 or 5 years we're doing it. So
trim the fat, man. Don't let those toxic people bring you down.
Yeah.
You're doing an awesome job. Bob Denon made the right choice. He picked the right guy, and I think this play, we're only going up.
Real quick, Joe Garrett, Mystery Fish was won by Ronnie Beckley, I'm pretty sure. That was right in the beginning. So if you run to the beginning of this, you'll see that. And Ohio has blew up with angler. It has. So, all right, man, I'm going to knock you out of here, and I'm going to talk about the next event. I can't wait to see you, your family and stuff. And see you later, buddy.
We're heading down Tuesday. So,
all right, I'll see you then.
Yep, later.
All right, let's see here. Let me pull this up. We're going to do a quick talk about our next event. Okay. I had to make sure I had this YouTube. Or Facebook. If my personal Facebook page was up, you never know what kind of conversation's going on. So I can't have that going on live. All right. Our next event is on Nickajack Reservoir. Let me go over some of the boundaries real quick. So for someone who's new, you might not know this because our boundaries are not just Nickajack, technically for the Nickajack event. So here is the Chickamauga Dam, and this is technically Nickajack Reservoir starting right here. Our boundaries don't end at Nickajack Dam. Our boundaries end at the Alabama border. So for anyone who's curious, if you want to, like, there are 2 dams in play in this tournament, and this is how we had it last year too. No one decided to fish below the Nickajack Dam, which is fine. You don't have to, obviously, but I just want to let everyone know, just in case they don't or they don't read the description. From the top of Chickamauga Dam all the way to the Alabama border, those are technically the boundaries. I wanted to make it that way. In the event we ever have a lot of people who want to fish dams, this isn't that big of an area. We don't want to be crowding it, down the road with 15, 20 kayakers. So, if we eventually down the road get 15, 20 kayakers who want to hit a dam right beneath it, there's 2 in play. So those are the boundaries, there to there. Obviously, the current is stronger the closer you are to this dam. It gets weaker as you get farther down. Last year, the current was really strong, which is actually why I pushed it to May. In March, the current was going a little bit too quick. But we were dragging, me and a couple other anglers, we were down here. We were dragging. So the current up here at Suck Creek was almost 2.5, 3 miles an hour. But by the time it got to the back end down here, we were almost dragging the main channel. So it's a beautiful reservoir because every style of fishing is an option. No matter what style of fishing you like, you can do it down here, no matter what the current is. And they also have, unlike up here in Ohio, they have a max that they will release. Because you'll see houses like literally on the river. The first time I was down in Tennessee and Alabama, I was like, how are those houses on the river and not flooded every single year? And they're like, there's flood control. They will only ever release so much, which is great because that means the back half of this lake will always be fishable no matter what the flow is going to be. So that's that. Let's go here. Our open house, the Catfish Sumo open house, he does discounted gear that day. I don't want to speak for what the discount is because I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. Our tournament is on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. You guys got to remember that because half of this lake is actually 3/4 of our boundaries are in the central time zone. So remember, everything is based off of Eastern time, not Central time. Your phone will automatically update once you hit it. However, just make sure you remember everything's based off of Eastern time for this tournament. New anglers, brand new anglers who have never fished an event before, an in-person event before the last 2 years. If you do not cash and you're the highest placing new angler, you will win $150. That's courtesy of Catfish Sumo. And yeah, they have a professional food truck. Where's the picture? I'm trying to find it. I'm really bad at looking through stuff on the events discussion. Here we go. They have a professional food truck coming, and I believe it's free. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's free. Be prepared to pay, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they told me it's free. So I absolutely can't wait. I'm going to be starving myself all day, and I'm going to eat so much food when I'm there. The open house just for this alone is going to be amazing. Bring cash just in case it's not free. If I'm speaking out of pocket, I apologize. But yeah, I think it's free. And the open house is Friday, May 24th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's also when I'll be checking the anglers in. You can meet the anglers. I'll bring my rig this time. Last time I didn't bring my rig. I was kind of in a hurry doing other stuff. So, yeah, that's it. In an hour, we'll be going over the side of the river with Aaron Grubb, and that'll be on the OCT Facebook page. All right. See you later, guys.